I'm so excited to have you here for session number 2. Make sure you check out session number 1 because this is a follow-up, and I would like if you can first watch session number 1 on the Lockdown Mindset Bootcamp before you start with session number 2 of the Lockdown Mindset Bootcamp. But welcome to everybody who are here, who's viewing this video. I hope you find something great out of this video. So the purpose of the second session is to go over your goals and your productivity. How we can be more productive being at home. It's been difficult being at home and working from home, studying from home. This video is aimed to help you be more productive and go over your goals. The structure of today's session. First, we will go over our goals, the type of goals that we have, and SMART goals. Thereafter, we will go on to productivity. 3 of the factors we will look at regarding our productivity will be our environment, routine, and habits that can help us be more productive. Let's first start off with a quote. All successful people have a goal. No one can get anywhere unless he or she knows where he or she wants to go and what he or she wants to be or do. So if we want to accomplish something, we have to identify that goal clearly so we can know where we want to go, what's the route we're going to take, and to remain focused on getting to the destination. Okay, so our first topic is goals. The process of setting goals help you choose where you want to go in life. By knowing precisely what you want to achieve, you know where you want to concentrate your efforts. You'll also quickly spot the distractions that can lead you astray. So this is why it's important for us to set goals, to keep us on track, to keep us going, and to know what the next step is. You need to think of your goals as a type of game plan. What game plan are you setting up for yourself, and how will that impact your life? So why do we set goals? Why set goals? Top level athletes, successful business people, and achievers in all fields set goals. Setting goals give you long-term vision and short-term motivation. This is where we get our motivation in, when we have something to look forward to. It's good to have something to look forward to. If you know that there's something you're working towards, it can allow you to place your focus on that specific thing and leaving behind all the other distractions and possible negative influences. It focuses on your acquisition of knowledge and help you to organize your time and your resources so that you can make the most out of your life. If you have your goals in place, it will allow you to go for what you want and to use your time effectively to get what you want. By setting sharp and clearly defined goals, you can measure and take pride in the achievement of those goals. And you'll see forward progress in what might previously have seemed a long, pointless grind. You will also raise your self-confidence as you recognize your own abilities and competence in achieving the goals that you've set. Not only does goals help us get to where we want to be, but it also raises our self-confidence. You know, when you have a goal you set for yourself and you achieve that goal, you are so proud of yourself, you believe in yourself, and you get motivated to achieve the next goal. I want to share a quote with you, and this was actually a game changer for me. Goals that are not written down are just wishes. At the end of every year, I find myself reflecting back on what I have achieved in the year, what I wanted to achieve during that year, and for quite some time, I did not write down any of my goals. I would tell myself what my goals are. I would maybe write it on a paper one time and then the paper is gone. I don't know where I wrote it down. A lot of the time what happens is life gets busy. You may even forget what you wanted to accomplish during that year. The reason why I say this is a game changer for me. The years that I started to write down what my goals are for that specific year, I achieved more. I want you to think about your goals. The New Year resolutions that you made back in January. Have you already reached them? If you have not succeeded in accomplishing your New Year's resolutions, then maybe you should think about why. Why haven't I reached them? Did I write them down? Did I put them in a place where I can see them constantly? Where I can see what I want to achieve? And ask yourself, how much time did I invest in reaching those goals? You would be surprised if you actually did an analysis on how you spend your time during the week. Your cell phone actually can show you now how you spend your time, on what apps that you spend your time, on what social media platforms you spend your time. And if you did even just one day to see the amount of time you spend on things that are not focused towards reaching your goals, that may even help you to rethink how you spend your time and how you would like to manage your time to reach what you want to reach, to become the person who you want to become, and to get there in the most efficient and effective way possible with the resources around you. Prior to studying psychology, I only looked at goals as a long-term goal or a short-term goal, depending on how long it takes to reach that goal. And that's how I distinguish as to what my 5-year plan goals were, maybe 2-month goals, or even my goals for the week. That's how I distinguish each of them. Once I dug deeper into everything and I studied psychology, I realized that everything links into one another. So that's where we get into the types of goals. So first we get our long-term goals that you want to achieve in 10 years time, maybe 5-year goals, or even 1-year goals. So it takes longer to get there. Now we get our short-term goals for the next 9 months, goals for the next 6 months, and 3 months. So in that time period. And then we get immediate goals 1 to 30 days from now. And as I said previously, I would say, I would like to own a business. That goal, if I look at the types of goals, I would place it in a long-term goal slot. Then I would think to myself, okay, I would like to run a 10-kilometer race. Maybe I can put that then in a short-term goal. Immediate goals, I would like to do the dishes for the day. That's how I use these 3 types of goals. I would just use it as an identifier to identify what type of goal it is. So that did not help me in any shape or form. Now we get different kinds of goals for each area of your life. You can have goals according to your health, according to your personality, according to your growth. To get goals for your business, you can get goals for your relationships. And now I'm not talking about that. For example, I know that I can achieve the goal in 6 months to run a race. That will be achievable in that time period. I don't have to put it in a long-term goal. But I realize that you need to use all of these goals as part of your game plan to reach the end destination. So if I want to start my own business, which is a long-term goal, I need to say, what short-term goals do I have to put in place to reach the long-term goal? So that might be short-term goals. I need to gain some awareness to my business, or that I want to start a business. What don't I know about the business field that I'm going into? So what do I need to study? Maybe I need to do a course in marketing. You want to set yourself a goal that every Wednesday I'm going to listen to a podcast on women in business. That would be your immediate goals that you set for yourself there. And now you utilize all these different types of goals to get you to your long-term vision. And that's what we want to achieve. So use these goals and ask yourself, what is my long-term vision? What do I want to accomplish? Where am I going? What do I want to be? And of course, write it down. After you've written it down, ask yourself, currently, how much time am I investing in reaching that goal? What changes do I need to make? So I need to put in some short-term goals to guide me, to give me motivation, and to give me self-confidence in reaching my vision and my long-term goals. I'm asking you, go over your goals, go over your game plan, and use these different types of goals to help you with a game plan into reaching your vision. Let's look at SMART goals. A useful way of making goals more powerful is to use the SMART mnemonic. While there are plenty of variants, SMART usually stands for, the S stands for specific or significant. Be specific about your goal. I would like to be a stay-at-home mom who occasionally work from 9 a.m. to 12 o'clock on Wednesdays. And on Fridays, I will have meetings between this time and this time. If that is the life that you want for yourself, then write it down. Be specific on the goal that you want to achieve. I want to have a business. Okay, a business. What kind of business do I want? What do I want to do with that business? What do I want my clients to think about my business? Be really, really specific. Once you get really specific, that is when the vision and the goal being so far away from you, you take it in closer and you take control over what you want. That helps us to gain perspective as to what I need to do to accomplish this goal. The second letter, M, measurable or meaningful. Measurable, how am I going to measure it? First, I need to be clear on how I see success. What is successful to me? So I know when I get there that I've achieved the goal. Or you need to decide how are you going to measure reaching that goal, getting to that goal. The third letter, A, attainable or action-oriented. Is it something that you can accomplish? If you put in the action, if you put in the work, will you be able to reach it? Then you can also ask yourself, what work do I need to put in place? What do I need to do? The action that I need to take. What will those steps be? The R stands for relevant or rewarding. How is this goal rewarding to you? How is it relevant to you? What does it mean for you? Because if I'm a student and I have to do a task, I don't want to do a task. I don't want to put time out of my day. I would rather do something else. I don't want to do a task. You'll have that attitude. But if you know why am I doing this? What's the reward out of doing this? Oh, I'm doing this so I can get my diploma to reach my long-term vision. Then if you have your long-term vision in front of you and you're looking toward that, it will give you motivation for that short-term goals. That's why it's relevant. That's why it would be rewarding to complete this. And then the last letter T, time-bound or trackable. You need to put time on that. I would like to accomplish this in the next 6 months, and I will spend this amount of time doing that. Yes, it's going to take some time, but it's going to give you a clear action plan and direction as to how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve. Once you put these things in place, it would be a blueprint and a step-by-step direction as to what you want to do to gain your vision or your long-term goals. How you're going to get there, and you'll be more motivated because your game plan is set in place. You'll know, why am I doing these smaller tasks that seem so insignificant? And that will give you the motivation you need to go for it. The motivation and the drive. And with each of these smaller tasks or goals that you're achieving, you gain momentum, you gain confidence, and you get closer to where you want to be. I would just quickly like to give you another example of how a SMART goal looks like. Instead of having a to sail around the world goal, it's more powerful to use a SMART goal. To have completed a trip around the world by December the 31st of 2025. Obviously, this will not only be attainable, but a lot more preparation has been completed beforehand. If you put a time onto that, you know I'm working towards that time. I only have 3 months left to accomplish that goal, and I want it. I want to do it. So I want to work as hard as I can now because I want to do it by that date. Because otherwise, it can easily just be put off. Oh, yeah, we'll do it. And then, that's what often happens with our New Year's resolutions. And have we completed those? All of those? Maybe not. And this will be the basis of helping you to know why you're doing the things that you're doing, and this will provide you with a drive to do this because you know the end goal that you're working towards. But sometimes we still get things that distract us. Although we know what we want to do, what time do you want to get to that goal? You know, the time limit that you put onto yourself, or the time frame that you're putting there for you. We need to use our resources to know, how am I going to utilize things or make changes to ensure that I don't get distracted from what I want to achieve, and how to use my time most effectively and efficiently as possible so that I get to my goal, that I don't waste my time, that I get this done to do other things. I struggled with written tasks. Usually I would get out my laptop, sit in front of it, and I'm ready to work. And then when I want to type, nothing comes out. So Walt Disney said, the way to get started is to quit talking and start beginning. This quote is so true. Once you just get started, it flows. It keeps you motivated. You see you've written one line, oh, I can write another line. And even if that one line you won't even use it, just start writing. And then when I just start writing, maybe the first line I will delete later on, but just write, just get into it. Sometimes it's just taking the first step. That's what I want to get at. This leads us to our second section of today's video, our productivity. Why do we want to increase our productivity? The most obvious answer that will probably come to mind is that you'd like more free time to do the things that you enjoy doing. If you're able to reach your goals sooner, that leaves you more time to set and achieve other goals, whether that's relaxing with a book or learning a new skill. We all would like to have more time. I want more time to do this task. I want more time to do things that I choose to do. That's why you need to set certain things up so that we can use our time to do the things that matter to us. So with regards to increasing our productivity, we will discuss 3 topics: our environment, routine, and habits. There are lots of different topics that we can discuss regarding productivity, but today we'll be doing these 3. I would like you to think about your work environment. How does it look? How does it make you feel? What emotions are coming up for you when you're thinking about the environment? Now, our work environment plays a big role in how productive we are. First of all, if you don't have a place that you call your workplace or space where you're currently at, students are at home, a lot of companies ask their staff to work from home. So when you're at home, where is that space that you identify as your workspace? I know it's comfortable for us to sit in bed and just go to your laptop, but that won't put you in the right mindset to get things done and to start working and being productive. If you have a specific space where you know this area is where I do work, when I go sit here, this is time to do work, that will increase your productivity. If you're able to, try to find a space that is quiet, where you don't have noise distractions. And one that I also like is a tidy workspace equals a tidy mind. If you have a lot of things just lying around on your desk, it will distract you at some point in time. It will make your mind feel as cluttered as your workspace. So tidy it up. Make sure you're ready to take in all the information and make sure that you don't get distracted by the things around you. And then we have to have a conversation with our family members or roommates regarding boundaries. A lot of people might be fighting with the people they live with because they don't set boundaries. The communication is not there. A lot of people have to live together now. They are not used to living together, and communication needs to be there to set the boundaries. I will help out in the house, but I also need to set time aside where I can focus on responsibilities that I have. You need to ask your family members or roommates, from this time to this time, please can I have an opportunity to do my work? Ask them. From 9 to 10, I would appreciate it if the noise level in the house could be minimal, as it will help me be more productive and focused on my work. So we have to communicate with the people around us. Another topic I would like to discuss is get ready to slay your day. So getting dressed in the morning, it's a task we do daily, and we often don't even think about it that much. We get dressed for different occasions. You get dressed to go to the gym, you get dressed to go on a hike, you get dressed to go for a business meeting, you get dressed to go to church. And with each outfit, we intentionally or unintentionally communicate non-verbally to the world around us. It's no question that what we wear is who we are, because fashion is a way for us to express ourselves, our identity, and even how we feel. The clothes we wear daily reflect the way we want others to perceive us and how we see ourselves. A lot of the time we only focus on the clothes we wear and what the reflection of it is to the people around us, what they think about what we wear and how they perceive us. But psychology also noted that it has an effect on how we see ourselves, noting that clothes even influence our cognitive abilities, how we think, and how we think about ourselves. In 2012, researchers from Northwestern University in the US found that wearing specific articles of clothing had an effect on the wearer's psychology and performance. The researchers concluded that clothes have a symbolic meaning. When we wear an article of clothing with a specific meaning, these clothes can influence our psychological state. So the clothes you're wearing today, what is the symbolic meaning? What does it say about how you feel about yourself? I'm not suggesting that we all have to wear the best brand name clothing because that will tell us how worthy we are. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the clothes that you're wearing and how you present yourself to the world today or to yourself today. What is that communicating to you? If you have a look at some of these images, which one do you think indicates that I'm ready to start my day, be productive, and go for my goals? I have this cute picture, work from home fashion. It's an illustration just showing when we thought, oh, we're going to work from home, we're going to do a lot of our things from home. That means I don't have to get dressed up. I can just be in loungewear. I can just be in my pajamas all day. So that's what we thought, oh, it's going to be fun. We're going to do that. But after this 100 and something days of lockdown, it's having an effect on our cognitive abilities, our psychological state, because it communicates something to us. So when you're wearing your pajamas, what do you associate with it? You know you're going to go to bed, you're going to sleep. You're not going to be productive. Unconsciously, you're telling yourself that you're not going to be productive. That's where the environment comes in play with the bed. If you're in the bed, you know you're sleeping in a bed, so you're telling yourself, be relaxed, don't focus. You can relax your mind because that's what you're doing when you're sleeping. And unconsciously, you're communicating these things to yourself. So a lot of the times when people tell me they're not feeling productive working from home, I tell them, wear a bra, put on some lipstick. The lipstick will tell you I'm powerful, I got myself together, I'm dressed for success, and that will tell you unconsciously that it's time to do the job. So I brought in fashion psychology because that's also part of our environment. Because when you look down, you see what you're wearing. It's an indicator of what I'm about to do. And it can be either motivating to you or it could drag you down, telling you it's time to relax, it's time to take a nap. So ask yourself, what are you wearing when you're starting to do your tasks? The next thing that I would like to talk about is setting a routine. Use a schedule for your routine. Sometimes we need to imagine that we're back in school. Provide yourself with this stability and predictability. This will help with anxiety regarding everything that's going on. If you put up a schedule, it would help you to know every day at 9 o'clock I'm doing this. And as I said previously, as adults we also need a form of stability and predictability, and a routine provides this. So schedule your work time. If you're able to work and schedule your own hours, try to divide your work or study time up in slots, 30 to 40 minute slots of working. And then you also need to schedule some breaks. Schedule time to take a break, to stretch your legs, to grab a glass of water, and to give your mind a breather. And then importantly, place your schedule somewhere you can see it. Make use of visual cues. If you have it up somewhere, you will be more likely to follow those things. I know I've used a planner in the form of a book, and most times what happened, I would be excited for my new pretty planner and I would start planning everything, and then the planner will just land up in a bag somewhere and I did not even use half of it. Paste it up on your wall where you're working. You can see what you're doing when you're doing it. That will help you to actually use your planner and follow what you're doing. So I'm going to give you an example of one of the planners. It's a printable planner, weekly planner that I use so I can visualize my week. I do this with a monthly planner where I put big goals or bigger dates that's important. I would mark that. But I also use this weekly planner to schedule my time. So I know what I'm using my time for and what amount of time I have available to do each of these tasks. Feel free to create your own weekly planner. You can make it pretty so you want to look at it. So it's not a pain or unpleasant when you have to look or plan. And this as well requires some time where you have to schedule time to do this. So we've looked at our environment and how that can have an effect on our productivity. And we also looked at our routine and how we need to use our routine to manage our time, to make the most of what we have. Now we're going over to habits. Okay, moving on to our habits. A habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tend to occur subconsciously. We have lots of habits. Habits that are useful, helpful, and guide us towards our goals. And we have habits that distract us and that just occupies our time. As it says there, it is something that you've repeated so many times that subconsciously just do it. And this can be a physical or behavioral habit, or it can also be a mindset habit, what you think. So the American Journal of Psychology defines a habit from the standpoint of psychology as more or less fixed way of thinking, willing, or feeling acquired through previous repetition of a mental experience. It's a pattern that forms because it's been repeated so many times. So I want to share with you some habits for productivity. These habits have all helped me stay organized, productive, and help me get stuff done and accomplish my goals. Because when you take intentional action to change your behavior, like implementing new habits, they can become game-changing. The first habit is set yourself up for success. Before you start, prep, set up everything you need to get ready for work. How many times have you told yourself, 7 o'clock, I'm sitting down and I'm going to work? Then when you get there, but I haven't eaten anything. I need to go get myself something to eat. Or Oh, but I need some water now. You get all these distractions leading you away from your time, and then you see, oh, but I've scheduled this time slot until 8 o'clock, and it's already now um, it's 7:30, so let's just skip this. How many times does this happen? In order to prevent getting distracted, we need to set everything up to avoid any excuses. Anything that you know that's going to be a distraction, get that out of the way. That's how you set up yourself for success. Make sure you are ready, you are comfortable to start working. Ask yourself, did I eat today? If you know you're going to get thirsty, grab something. Let it be there so you can just grab it, so you don't have to go to the kitchen again. Set aside 30 minutes to an hour to prepare yourself. You know yourself best. If you know you always get thirsty when you work or you want a snack, make sure you have that next to you. Make sure it's there. Make sure you clean your work area if you know that's something that will help you remain focused. We need to avoid these excuses. So get the excuses out of the way before you start. This will help you get ready to get in the zone. The second habit is the action plan. You don't have to buy a new planner. Use what you have. Set aside time to use your planner, like the one that I showed you. Use this time to determine what you need to do for your day. Plan your month, your week, and even what you want to accomplish today. Then you can set mini goals for the day and prioritize them. A lot of the times we get overwhelmed by seeing everything that we need to do. So set those mini goals and know how to prioritize them. So with productivity, we also want to utilize our time as effective as possible. So use a time management strategy. As you can see, you can divide your work up to see what is important and urgent. Those things you have to do right now. And then what is not urgent but important, you can cluster work in that. And then urgent but not important. And you have a section for not urgent and not important. By dividing everything that you need to do into those different sections, this will help you identify what tasks take priority and where to start. Start working in advance, not the day before. If you use your planner, you can see, I have to complete this task in 3 months, and to divide the work and make sure I have enough time, I need to divide them. Then you will know when you have to start. Nobody wants the extra pressure of starting the day before the task is due. So don't do that when you have work that you need to hand in at a specific date. Don't put that pressure on yourself. It's not going to feel great when you have to start a task with that added pressure and negativity. So rather do your work in advance and make sure you have enough time to do it. And then, as I said, allocate time slots for each task and respect these time slots. So when you make time slots and tell yourself, I only have 40 minutes to accomplish this mini task or mini goal, what will happen when you don't finish in that time? Well, how do you feel when you know that you only have that amount of time to do the task for today? You want to keep going. You don't want to stop. Now, my recommendation is, if you have enough time, respect your time slot. Stop when you scheduled yourself to stop. Because this will only give you more motivation for your next time slot. Next time, you will get the motivation to work and get the things done. So by not finishing, this will only give you more motivation to finish each task every time, leading you to start earlier than what you usually. All the distractions that usually take over and excuses that you give yourself, now you will be more motivated to get the work done, and because you're respectful to your time slots. Moving on to habit number 3, start with the big ones. A lot of the times I would tell myself, just do this little task just to get started, or just do this thing. So starting with the big ones is actually the way to go. Start your day with the most important and biggest task first. So often we start with the easy task to get into the work. And by doing this, we place more pressure and time limitations on the important and urgent tasks. So using your time management strategies to identify where your tasks are, starting with the big ones. Once you've identified them, start with the big ones. Don't bluff yourself and tell yourself, to get into it, I'm just going to first start with the small ones. That's lies that we tell ourselves. When it is the first one you start with, it is the first one you get done with. If you push these tasks off because you don't want to do them, they will just get harder and harder to do, leading to a smaller time frame to complete the task. No time, no energy, and no motivation. That only leads to anxiety. Everything from there on will be downhill and easier. When you get the big one out of the way, it will really motivate you to go on. I've done the big thing. The motivation will increase. You know, I've already completed this big one. I'm successful in my day. I can go on and do the smaller things now. Now, habit number 4. As we said, a big task, we're often afraid of tackling it or going for it because it's so large. Habit number 4 addressed this. Break it down now, y'all. I just had to put that in there. It was so fitting. So break it down, guys. Get into the habit of breaking down a task. When you are planning a task, divide the sections into bite-sized pieces. Make them smaller to know what you have to do, and then identify that to your time schedule or your weekly planner. For example, in this time slot, I'm only going to do, if we think about studying, I'm only going to do chapter 1. Or if that's even too big for you, in this time slot, I'm only going to do page 1 to 5. And don't think of it as a whole big thing. When you divide it into smaller bite sizes, you can then only focus on the one piece that you're currently doing. So that's also important. Don't tell yourself when you're busy working, but I have all of these other things that I still need to do. Stop with that. Just focus on what you're doing. When you finish the task, you basically achieved a goal. This will motivate you to do the next task. So when you have the big task, please divide it into smaller bite sizes. If you have to go page by page, if you're a student, do it page by page. Or in this time slot, I'm just going to do page 1 to 5. I'm just going to study those. Next time slot, I'm doing page 6 to 10. And only focus on that. If you focus on what you have to do, all these small little bite-sized pieces add up. And before you know it, you completed the big task. And celebrate when you've done the smaller task as well. Be proud that you've achieved them. Moving on to habit number 5. Put down the phone. Remove the procrastination activity before it begins. For me, my phone is distraction number 1. I like to use it as a procrastination activity. I'm sitting down, I'm ready, I have everything set up for success. But now my cell phone is ringing. Maybe a message just popped in and I'm on my phone. And before I know it, I'm on TikTok or Facebook for another half an hour. It happens. So what do we do? What can we do? Because we argue that, but what if someone really needs me and they need to contact me? That's one of the things that can happen. And ask yourself, is that really what I'm feeling and what's really important? Or am I using this as a crutch to have my cell phone there? Because maybe I like using it to procrastinate. And that's also another question. Why am I feeling the need? But we'll discuss this in the future. If we get distracted, we tend to reach for the nearest distraction, which can lead to procrastination. In order to prevent this, just remove the distraction from the start. If your distraction is your phone, you can either leave it in another room. Sometimes for me, putting it on silent did not do the job because I could still go onto social media platforms. So what I used was an app. I used the Forest app. And this is not a promotion. I'm just sharing with you what helped me and what I used, and I would like to share my resources. So I used the Forest app. This allowed me to focus and remove the possibility of wasting my time. Plus, you get an awesome reward. So how this app works is you put on a timer on your phone where it won't allow you to use any social platforms. It provides you with the possibility to stop the timer or the block if you have to make emergency phone calls or pay attention to something. And other people can also contact you, but it blocks you from any other distraction. The awesome reward that I'm talking about is you're growing your forest. So when you complete the time indicated or the timer, you get a tree, and then you can build your forest in that. It's a great way because you get rewarded, and I mean, it sounds silly, but you get into it. It also provides you with a reward, so you want to achieve these goals. You want to get your tree, you want to get the bigger tree, you want to get the prettier tree. It makes it fun, you get an awesome reward. Yeah, I would like to know what you guys think of it as well, and if it works for you. Please let me know if you're going to use this. Or do you have another app that you use? Tell me, please. Leave it in the comments so we can share with one another. Time management apps, productivity apps, anything like that. Now we all know the saying, work smarter, not harder. How many times have we heard this before? So ask yourself, are you working smarter and not harder? So with this saying, there's a rule. The rule is the 80 to 20 rule. So following the 80 to 20 rule, a lot of business people and successful people follow this rule. This rule basically says that you need to work in a way that the 20% of what you do each day will produce 80% of your return. Eliminate all the things that don't matter during your workday because they have a minimal effect on your overall productivity. For example, break your next project down into steps and systematically remove tasks until you end up with 20% that gets you the 80% of results. So this is just a bonus thing that I want to add to you guys, following the 80 to 20 rule. So please comment down below, what is one productivity tip you will incorporate? Some journal prompts available for you guys regarding productivity. It's gonna pop onto this screen and I want you to use these journal prompts. Get your journal out and ask yourself these questions. It will help you, it will guide you, and it will provide you with some clarity regarding your productivity and goals. To end with this little metaphor that I heard on a podcast. Have you ever seen a fly trying to get out of a window? When the window is closed, he would just keep going at it, and he will bump himself into that window constantly over and over and over again. And that sometimes occurs to us regarding how we use our time. We often get into a pattern where we keep going at it. We think we're doing a lot of work. I mean, that fly is doing a lot of work to try to get out, but it's not useful. He's not going to get anywhere unless the window is open. And as I said, that's a great metaphor for how we spend our day as well, how we use our time. Are we bumping into a glass window all the time? The work that we're doing, is it actually effective? Are we using the time that we're spending on our goals, on our tasks? Are they getting us to where we want to be, or we keep just banging ourselves against this glass window? That's why we need to reflect and use strategies and tips. And I really hope that these habits and some of the key points that I showed you today will help you so you can use your time most effectively and use these tips. And I hope the first video provide you with a basis for a great mindset. This brings us to the end of the second session. I hope this helps you guys out. I hope you can use this, and I hope you enjoyed the first session. Stay tuned for the following session. As always, contact me if you have any questions or you want to talk about something. Then I'll see you in the next session. Bye!